people are the only legitimate fountain of power.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to say that it's from there that all the other powers of government are derived. And so when you think about it, bringing this right to the people through this ballot initiative has a secondary effect of helping them regain their own power. And that can be applied to their entire life, that they can make personal decisions that will have a very big impact, perhaps bigger than what a president might do that's controlled and limited and catering to special interests. But yet a person can make, each one of us is the master of our own destiny. No president is our master. They're the servants. They're there to serve our needs, our desires for higher quality of life and for spiritual growth. And we just need to keep reminding ourselves. We need things that will remind us of our incredible power to choose higher qualities of life and a bigger reality.
Yeah, I have a question for you, because I have the microcosm of the macrocosm going on here, and with the county, they're doing everything they can to kind of close things down here and stop what's happening here. And, I went to them and I said, look, you're saying this is health and safety, but it's not. I said, we've been here for 25 years. There hasn't been an accident. There's no health problems. There's nothing. And you're fully aware of that. And you're running around making problems where none exist and actually not requiring anybody else to jump through the billions of hoops that you're demanding of us, including putting in fire hydrants and everything else. I mean, nobody else, we don't even have fire hydrants in the town. But there's a lot of things it's just been going on forever. And then I had one guy dismissed off the planning commission because of extreme bias. And it's going in a religious direction, which is crazy. But all we're asking is for a conditional use permit to use the main building, which is built like a brick. I mean, it is overbuilt. The building you could drive a truck through it and it'd be no problem. And it meets all the requirements, fire extinguishers, bathrooms, everything. But they're doing everything they can to create problems here. So basically the whole community, there was not one person speaking against us at these big meetings. Not one person stood up and said, we don't like what they're doing, they're negative. And the town has totally prospered because of us being here. But anyway, so the town's totally prospered. All the town is behind us. All the restaurants, the gas stations, the hotels have completely prospered, and it was like a ghost town when we got here. So we brought this all up to them. We said, wait a second, the people want us here. There is no real problems here. Why are you making problems where none exist, and why are you not serving the people? And they have their little power struggles going on down there, and their beliefs, and they're doing everything they can to stop what's going on here. So I'm wondering, I don't know, you might know somebody in the political arena, or you might know somebody in the legal arena that might want to get in contact with us or something and help us to establish, the base constitutional rights of, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, and actually it's, I'm a minister and I have a Cherokee Nation card. We're part Cherokee, so I have all these avenues to go, but they don't acknowledge any of them. It's amazing.
Can you turn it into a tribal land?
Well, that might
and
be
have sovereignty.
I might have to figure out a way to do that. I'm not sure how I would go about that, but I think it might be going in that direction.
Well, yeah, there must be some way, or perhaps they'll just get removed. Just as the consciousness rises, then they get purified out of the process.
That's what I'm planning on, actually. I'm planning on just kind of holding out and just kind of closing down a little bit and say, okay, you guys deal with the town. You've pretty much made it impossible to do business here. So if you want to create a ghost town again here, then that's your karma, whatever. That's your program.
Right.
And it cuts in a loss of revenue for them, and it's like self-defeating. It's amazing what some of these people do. They forget completely that they're there to serve the people and do what's highest and best good for the people. And especially when there's no harm being done and nothing but good coming out of this, I just wonder what right do these people have in stepping in and trying to undermine this, other than their own, ego program that they're running.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the local laws to even, get a hint of what you might be able to do. But it sounds like, there's a lot of good thought going into it. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I don't know, are these elected officials or appointed? Or
yeah, they're elected officials, and I think that they're going to get unelected here real soon. So we might have to just put everything on hold till the next group comes in.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know any, because I had, the UFO lawyers here that were involved before. I had 2 or 3 of them, and not one of them would even budge a finger, around this. It's been going on since the beginning of being here, and we just stick it out, but we're getting at a point now where we're going through some major growing pains, and thousands of people have come up here to see the ships, and they seem to take a dim view of that, although there is no risk to anybody, and it's great for the community.
I guess I'd have to get up there sometime myself and look around.
Yeah, that's what we tell people. We have some very staunch skeptics, come up here, and when they start seeing things, and when they finally can't describe, one guy was a Mormon scientist and school administrator, and we have him on record, and very religious, very scientific, and he started seeing the light spheres flying around, and then we turned on the night vision and the spotlights, the infrared spotlights, to show these orbs actually interacting with people, like other dimensional realities happening. And that kind of blew his mind. And then he started seeing the ships coming over, and he goes, well, those are just big lights. And then I explained the science to him. I said, well, they're in the Earth's shadow. These aren't satellites. The light is self-generated, and they have no running lights or strobes or anything, and anything up there needs to have those, even military. And then they started stopping and lighting up the whole field and making a right-angle turn, that pushed him over the edge. And then a giant triangle ship flew right over his head, and that was it, Huh. That totally pushed him over the edge. And then on top of that, he had a broken wrist, and it was healed overnight.
Well, so, that works.
yeah. So, I mean, that with all that together, and we're having spontaneous healings happen here, just crazy things that are documented. So, nothing but good is coming out of this, but there still is that element, and I don't know how we turn that around. Maybe you have some ideas. There still is that element, and it does seem to be holding positions of power that is doing everything it can to disrupt this process.
Yes, I think there's different ways to deal with that. I can talk to you outside the interview.
Okay, that'd be great.
Things. But that's very encouraging that you're having that kind of stuff going on. I think if you have material that you can share publicly, Denver might be a place where it could make its entry into the mainstream news media. One of the local public, not public access, but regular public television stations was, I think, the first in the whole country to show the 9/11 Truth documentary. And they got a lot of heat for it, but, they stood their ground. And it was controversial, but nevertheless, they have a lot of vision, and they're not strictly a PBS station. They're Colorado. They broadcast to Colorado, maybe a little further, but they're very highly respected, and they can accomplish a lot.
Yeah, I'll have to check into that. But we have so much footage. If you go to our website, you can see it, but we have footage that they cannot explain of this huge door opening up on the mountain, which has always been there. The Native Americans know about it, and things come out of that door. It's a massive light door, but if you go up there in the physical, all there is a lava face. That's a big face of lava, a cliff, basically. And they have some kind of crazy technology that seems to open up a door, this huge square light door that opens up there, and things come in and out of it. But we have a lot of footage of these objects morphing from 1 to 3 and back to 1 again on the mountain, taking off, going, jets chasing them, you name it. I mean, we have so much footage here that is undeniable. And we gave it to OMSI Planetarium, and they said it was a space shuttle. that we were mistaking the footage for what we were seeing as a space shuttle. And I just said, well, they can't land the space shuttle on Mount Adams. There's nothing but cliffs and snowbanks there.
Right.
And it's on the mountain. I said, if that was a space shuttle, it just hit the mountain, and we'd have all kinds of people up here. But what they're coming up with now is so beyond ridiculous, trying to explain this away, that they're just having so much egg on their face. I think almost all the media is going to have to come clean now.
I agree, and I've observed that a lot of these people that come up with these completely absurd statements don't really believe the statements. They're doing it just to get under your skin, to throw you off balance, to take up your time responding to them one-on-one so that you can't get your message out. And so, I deal with that. One way I deal with it, I delete their comments after articles that I write because I know that they're just trying to engage me. And they give me the choice of either spending a lot of time trying to counter with logic and reason all their ridiculous claims, or leaving their deceptive claims there uncountered. And so I just delete it. And, then they accuse me of censorship and all that, but that's the price I pay. But I really don't, there's so many, an hour of time. In an hour, I can do something that will get more truth to thousands or tens of thousands of people, or I could craft some message to try to, satisfy this person. Then they'll never be satisfied. They're just basically hecklers.
I know they really don't want facts or proof or anything else. They want to remain in their present understanding and defend it. And no matter how much evidence, like you say, you give them, it just doesn't matter. And even just base common sense doesn't matter to them, and then they say, well, what about Stephen Hawking and people like that? And I just said, well, it's like, it's. I said all I can say is they're not very educated in the field, and they're not looking at the evidence, and they are probably under some kind of censorship or need to continue, on course to keep, their commission or their paycheck or whatever else they're getting, So you just have to look at who's paying them and what their motives and agendas are, and then when these guys come up and start talking, you can automatically almost discount whatever they're going to come up with.
Right. Now that there's so many unemployed people who have nothing to lose, but to be a little more adventurous, say, what are my options here? I mean, I'm struggling. What can I do? What new truth can I adopt? What information would be useful to me? I'll go back to school. What will I learn there? So I do believe that lends to the strength of the momentum of disclosure and accepting this reality out of just sheer survival.
Yeah, I noticed that as long as everything is flowing, it's, the status quo is going full stream ahead. Everybody has their condo, their beer, and their SUV and football and pizza, basically. You're not going to have a problem, But now, with what's going on, what they used to depend upon for their sustenance or their life or whatever else is being pulled out from under them. So they, like you're saying, they have nothing to lose by saying, wait a second, I participated in a lot of this stuff. I know what's really going on, and they're starting to write books and doing whatever is necessary to keep themselves afloat.